Okay, folks, he's back, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. So, I've just been busy last couple of weeks. So, today's one is going to be about pricing for your service business, okay? So, I used to be in the trade, okay? And for 15 years. And I know a lot of people in the trade. And I know a lot of people who charge the same now what they charged 10 years ago, okay? Because they're paranoid of upping their prices and losing customers, okay? Even though they've gotten better and more efficient at what they do, they still charge the same as what they did roughly 10 years ago. Alright, so let's say 10 years ago you got busy and somehow you're just living on paycheck to paycheck, okay? 10 years later, inflation's gone up virtually 50%, okay? You're living and you're still charging the same. Where do you think you're going to be financially? You're not going to be in a great position unless you get on top of your finances, you know. So the way I look at this is, let's say you up your prices, okay? You've upped them by 50%, okay? And let's say you lose a third of your customers. You get, you know, you're only working 2/3 of the time you used to work. You're still making the same money, but you're just working less hours, okay? So, and believe it or not, the majority, probably 90% of them, will stick with you anyway, because if you've got a decent clientele, they're just looking for good work, aren't they? A good job done, okay? So stop getting paranoid about losing your customers, okay? Because if you up your prices by 50% and you lose a third of those lose a third of your work, you're still making the same money, but you're just working only 2/3 of the time you used to, okay? So let's say you're working 30 hours a week and now you're working 20 hours a week, okay? And you're making the same as what you did doing 20 hours as what you did 30 hours, okay? Just for better customers, you know, maybe fussier, but you get the point. So don't be afraid to raise your prices. 90% of them will stick to you anyway, even if a third of them go with someone else. You've upped your prices by 50%, which I don't recommend you do that overnight, but over a 10-year period you should have at least done that to keep up with inflation, especially if you've gotten better at your industry and you're more efficient, okay, at what you do. So what I mean by that is what you can make in a day, for example, or a week, or how quickly you can do a job, okay? If you're doing price work, which is really what you want to be doing, because if you charge a time rate, it's just never worth it, because you always got customers querying it. Let's say you clear someone's gutters and you charge £65 to do back and front, you do it in half an hour. If you're charging like 65, people are just going to go, oh, what are you charging 130 an hour for? But they're not considering like how much the equipment costs, gutter vac, ladders, cameras, your advertising costs, because obviously your advertising costs are going to be higher than someone who's just does bigger jobs, okay? to get to stay busy. So and they don't include travel time to get there, and you might not want to keep all your gear in the van. It might take you 3/4 of an hour to get everything in your van, and by the time you've got on there, it's taking you an hour and a half. If you include that with answering the phone, quoting for the job, etc, 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 if you're just doing like a day rate or whatever, people will just look at it as the time you've been there, how much you're charging. You think that's what you make, especially people who aren't business owners. So you've just got to price your work. Same as photographers, like let's say product photographer does 12 photos of 5 different products that you have, okay, so 60 images, and they charge you 300 quid for it, and do it in a 2 to 3 hours, say, a decent photographer, and they've charged you 300 quid. If you just say like, oh yeah, I charge £900 a day, no one's going to be interested. But if you charge it by the job, people don't really query it. Not many people query it, they just want to know how much it's going to cost them at the end of the day. Okay, so with your pricing, also understand that customers don't know how long things are going to take. Okay, if they query it, 3 years ago when you painted my house in 2 weeks, you charged me £1,800. Now you've done 7 days work and you've charged the same money. You just tell them you get more, I'm a lot quicker than I used to be. Okay, they don't know how long it's going to take. Okay, they might second guess it, but really they don't know how long. So you've gotten quicker, and you need to raise your prices. At least look at inflation numbers, and you want to keep up with inflation, if not exceed inflation. Okay, because you're getting more and more efficient, and money always increases, okay, decreases in value. Okay, your cash always decreases in value. Okay, yeah, if you like this one, guys, I'm back, so click the thumbs up, and yeah, leave a comment, and let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll keep it at 8 minutes and I won't rabbit on, okay, too much longer. Peace.